Most riders chase mods that turn heads, loud pipes, flashy lights, chrome everywhere. But the real pros, they upgrade for performance, safety, and control. This isn't about showing off, it's about riding smarter. These are 11 underrated motorcycle mods only experienced riders use, and once you try them, there's no going back. Number 11, Helmet Quick Release Buckle. Ask any seasoned rider. There are few things more frustrating than trying to fasten or unfasten your helmet using double D rings in the middle of a rainstorm or with gloves still on. And yet, most helmets come with that very system by default. The quick release buckle is a small upgrade, but once you've used one, it feels like a revolution. This simple mechanism replaces the traditional strap fastener with a secure, one-handed click-and-place system. It allows you to take your helmet off instantly without pulling off your gloves or fumbling with cold, wet straps. The best part? Many of these buckles are made from high-strength materials like stainless steel or reinforced polymer, and they're fully compliant with both Department of Transportation and Economic Commission for Europe's safety standards. That means you are not trading safety for convenience. You're getting both. Installation is simple. Thread the strap through the locking mechanism once, and it stays put. From that point forward, you're locking in and releasing your helmet with a smooth snap. Beyond the convenience, this upgrade can drastically reduce daily annoyance. When you stop for gas, roll into a rest area, or just need a break during a long ride, your helmet comes off instantly and goes right back on when you're ready. For older riders dealing with arthritis, cold weather riding, or even just bulky gloves, this one mod can completely change how your ride begins and ends. A high-quality buckle system costs around $20 and fits almost all helmets. While it may not be the kind of upgrade that turns heads or gets talked about at a bike night, it becomes a daily essential once installed. After a few rides, you'll wonder why this doesn't come standard on every helmet sold in America. Now, if you thought this was a smart fix, the next upgrade turns one of the most annoying garage jobs into a solo rider's dream. If these mods are making you rethink your bike, hit that like button, drop a comment about which one you're excited to try, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more secret hacks for pro riders coming your way. Number 10, speed bleeders. Brake fluid maintenance should be routine, but for most riders it turns into a hassle. Traditionally, bleeding your brakes requires two people, one to pump the lever, the other to crack and seal the bleeder screw at just the right time. Get it wrong and you're dealing with air in the lines, or worse, contaminated brake fluid. That's where speed bleeders come in. These clever valves replace the standard bleeder screws and contain a built-in check valve that lets fluid out but no air back in. Now you can bleed your brakes solo without any stress or risk of backflow. Installation is simple. You just remove your original bleeder screws and thread in the new ones. Once in place, you can open the valve slightly, squeeze the brake lever a few times, and fresh fluid flows through while the valve automatically seals when you release the lever. No need to rush. No need for a second person. The process becomes cleaner, faster, and far more controlled. For most bikes, a pair of speed bleeders costs less than $20. Some models even come with pre-applied thread sealant and protective dust caps. If you maintain your bike regularly or want to start, this upgrade saves you time, improves safety, and reduces the chances of brake failure due to improper bleeding. Let's talk performance. Clean brake fluid means firmer, more responsive braking, especially during emergency stops or long downhill rides. Dirty fluid, on the other hand, becomes compressible, reducing stopping power. By making it easier to flush your system more often, speed bleeders help keep your bike braking at its best. This is one of those hidden mods that doesn't look impressive, but experienced riders know it adds real-world value every year. Now that you've made bleeding brakes a one-person job, let's look at a cheap little switch that can stop your entire bike from being stolen. Need gear that actually holds up? We've listed rider-tested jackets, gloves, boots, and more in the description. Number 9. Hidden Kill Switch Toggle. This one's not high-tech. There are no blinking lights, smartphone alerts, or expensive monthly plans. But for any seasoned rider who's ever parked their bike outside a motel on a road trip or left it unattended in a sketchy city alley, the value of a hidden kill switch is instantly obvious. It's simple, discreet, and surprisingly effective. The concept is basic. Install a secondary toggle switch into the ignition circuit completely out of sight. When this switch is flipped off, it cuts the flow of power. It doesn't matter if someone tries tries to hotwire your ignition or even uses a copied key, without that hidden toggle in the correct position, the engine won't turn over. The beauty of this mod is that it's nearly invisible. You can mount the toggle under the seat, behind a side panel, tucked beneath a saddlebag, or even inside the battery box. The switch itself costs around $10, and installing it takes less than an hour if you have a basic understanding of motorcycle wiring. Once in place, it becomes part of your routine. Shut down, flip the hidden switch, walk away. That simple move gives you a massive security advantage without adding any weight, complexity, or clutter to your bike. Most thieves are looking for fast, easy targets. They are not electricians, and they don't want to waste time figuring out why a bike won't start. A hidden kill switch makes your motorcycle a puzzle. Without any visible signs of a security system, they'll waste valuable time, or more likely move on entirely. And unlike global positioning system trackers or brake disc locks, this upgrade requires no charging, no maintenance, and zero ongoing costs. It may not add flash or power, but when it prevents your bike from disappearing, it becomes one of the smartest $10 upgrades you can make. Pair it with other deterrents, and your bike becomes nearly impossible to steal without serious tools and time. And while this switch protects your bike from thieves, the next upgrade protects your wiring from yourself without turning your seat into a bird's nest of tangled cables. Number 8. Auxiliary fuse block. For riders who depend on accessories like heated grips, phone chargers, GPS units, and auxiliary lights, managing the electrical load becomes a serious issue. Without the right system in place, many riders end up splicing wires directly to the battery or tapping into factory wiring, creating a tangled mess under the seat that's not only hard to manage, but also a serious risk for shorts, failures, and battery drain. That's where the auxiliary fuse block comes in, one of the smartest electrical upgrades an experienced rider can install. An auxiliary fuse block centralizes your entire accessory power system into one easy-to-access location. Instead of daisy-chaining wires all over your frame or running electrical tape around questionable connections, you run a single fused power line from the battery to the block. From there, every accessory is connected to its own individual fuse terminal, making the entire setup clean, safe, and easy to troubleshoot. Most fuse blocks can even be wired through a relay that only powers them when the ignition is on, preventing your battery from draining overnight if you forget to unplug something. Installation is straightforward, and a good quality block can be found in the $50 to $80 range depending on features. While this mod won't be visible to the average eye, the impact on reliability and convenience is immediate. No more mystery shorts. No more burnt fuses hidden in tape. Everything is in one place, accessible and clean. This kind of setup becomes especially important on touring bikes loaded with gadgets or winter riders using heated gear regularly. With multiple power-hungry devices running at once, the risk of overloading a single battery terminal or blowing a fuse increases. A fuse block distributes that load evenly and safely, giving your bike the electrical backbone it deserves. Now that we've cleaned up the wiring system, the next mod helps clean up how you're seen, and it might just stop the next distracted driver from hitting you at a red light. Number 7. Brake light modulator. If you've ever watched a driver behind you stare at their phone while you're stopped at a red light, you already know how vulnerable motorcycles can be. A single moment of distraction can result in disaster. That's why experienced riders often install a brake light modulator, a small but powerful upgrade that pulses your brake light for a second or two when you apply pressure. This sudden, eye-catching flicker cuts through distractions and gets a driver's attention far better than a static light ever could. The modulator works by momentarily flashing the brake light before going solid. The human brain is wired to respond to change, and a quick repeating flash is far more likely to break through the noise of modern traffic than a steady glow. This gives drivers an extra second or two to react, and in an emergency scenario, that second could mean everything. Studies have shown that flashing brake lights reduce the risk of rear-end collisions significantly, especially at intersections and during heavy traffic. Most quality brake light modulators are plug-and-play for modern motorcycles. They fit directly into the wiring harness between your brake switch and the light itself. No cutting, soldering or complex programming required. Prices typically range from $20 to $40 depending on features and adjustability. Some advanced versions allow you to choose the flash pattern or delay settings, but even the simplest models get the job done. As long as the flashing sequence doesn't exceed a few seconds before going steady, these devices are legal in nearly all regions across the United States. This is one of those safety upgrades that pays for itself the first time someone breaks a little sooner because they saw you. You may never know when it saves your life, but it will. If that got your attention, the next mod takes visibility to another level right at the exact spot drivers are already looking. Number 6. Bar end turn signals. Standard motorcycle turn signals often sit low on the body, either mounted to the fork or fender, where they're easily missed by distracted drivers or lost in traffic clutter. Bar-end turn signals change that completely. By placing your indicators at the outermost point of your handlebars, you move your lighting right into the line of sight of the average car driver, especially in mirrors and at intersections. These compact circular lights either replace or fit alongside your handlebar end weights. When activated, they produce a bright amber flash that's hard to miss, even in daylight. Their placement not only increases visibility, but also adds a sleek, minimalist look to your bike, especially on cruisers, cafe builds, and naked bikes where clean lines matter. And because they sit at a wider stance than traditional lights, they provide a better visual cue for the direction you're turning, making your intentions crystal clear to surrounding vehicles. Most bar-end signals use LED technology, meaning they're energy efficient and extremely durable. They typically require minor wiring and, depending on your current setup, may also need resistors or an LED-compatible relay to function correctly without hyper-flashing. A quality set can be found in the $40 to $90 range. Beyond visibility, there's a practical advantage. These signals are far less prone to damage in tip-overs or tight parking situations. Bulky plastic housings on traditional signals can snap off with a light bump, but bar-end setups are often more protected and out of the way. Some models even double as daytime running lights for extra safety. This is not just a cosmetic change, it's a visibility strategy. When your signals are placed where drivers are already looking, your odds of being seen and respected on the road go up drastically. Not every mod is about being noticed. Some are about how the bike feels when you're in control, and the next one upgrades your grip on the road itself. Number 5. Adjustable clutch and brake levers. Factory clutch and brake levers are made with one assumption in mind, that every rider has the same size hands and the same preferences. For experienced riders, that couldn't be further from the truth. Adjustable levers are one of the smartest modifications you can make to your bike, especially if you want better comfort, smoother operation, and more control over your ride. These levers allow you to dial in the reach, distance, and pivot feel so that you're not constantly stretching your fingers or cramping during a long trip or aggressive ride. The beauty of adjustable levers lies in their customization. Whether you ride with gloves, have smaller hands, or just prefer a closer engagement point, these levers let you tailor the controls to fit your needs precisely. You can fine-tune them for quicker braking response, smoother clutch engagement, or to reduce fatigue during city stop-and-go traffic. Some models also offer folding features to prevent breakage in case your bike tips over, which adds durability to the list of benefits. The installation process is straightforward and can usually be completed in less than 30 minutes with basic tools. Most quality aftermarket sets are made from aluminum or forged alloy, offering strength without unnecessary weight. For those looking to add some visual flair, these levers also come in a range of colors and finishes. But even in standard black, the performance and comfort improvements are immediately noticeable. When it comes to control, ergonomics matter just as much as horsepower. Poor lever setup can lead to delayed braking, inconsistent clutch pull, or even arm pump on longer rides. Adjustable levers remove those issues and give you back the confidence to manage your controls exactly how you want them. A premium pair typically costs between $70 and $120, depending on the brand. It's a small investment that delivers huge comfort benefits for any serious rider. Now that your controls are tuned to your hand, wait until you see how experienced riders adjust the entire front suspension without replacing a single fork. Number 4. Fork preload adjusters. Suspension tuning often sounds like something reserved for racers or high-end garage builds, but experienced riders know that even a basic preload adjustment can completely transform the feel of your front end. Fork preload adjusters allow you to fine-tune the amount of compression your front forks have before any weight is applied. That means your suspension can finally match your body weight, gear load, or riding style without the need for an expensive rebuild or aftermarket fork setup. Most bikes come from the factory with a generic suspension setting aimed at the average rider weight. For most people, this setting is either too soft, causing excessive dive under braking, or too stiff, making the ride feel harsh and jittery. By installing fork preload adjusters, you replace the top caps of your forks with adjustable dial. With just a twist, you can increase or decrease the preload to suit your needs perfectly, whether you're solo, riding two up, or loaded with luggage. Preload adjusters are particularly helpful for improving cornering stability, front-end confidence, and overall ride quality. A properly set front suspension absorbs road imperfections better and maintains more consistent tire contact with the pavement. That means more control, better handling, and less fatigue for the rider. It also helps with emergency braking, keeping your front wheel more composed instead of diving dangerously. These adjusters are usually made from machined aluminum and anodized for durability. They're available in various colors and typically cost between $80 and $150 for a set. Installation is straightforward for most bikes and can be done in under an hour with basic tools. Once they're in place, they can be fine-tuned anytime, at a fuel stop, in your garage, or even on the side of the road. This is one of those mods that won't show off at bike night, but you'll feel it in every mile you ride. Now that your suspension's dialed in, let's move to something every rider should hear, especially when traffic gets dangerously close. Number 3. Upgraded horn. You are cruising down the highway, maintaining your lane, when a car starts drifting right towards you. You reach for the horn, expecting to jolt the driver back into their lane, and all you get is a feeble squeak. The car keeps drifting. That exact moment is when many riders realize just how ineffective stock motorcycle horns can be. They are quiet, high-pitched, and barely noticeable in the chaos of traffic. For experienced riders, upgrading the horn isn't about being aggressive, it's about being heard before it is too late. A quality horn upgrade changes everything. Many aftermarket horns are capable of producing more than 120 decibels. That is louder than most passenger vehicles and enough to cut through the distraction of music, cell phones, and closed windows. Horns like the Denali Sound Bomb or the Stiebel Nautilus have built strong reputations for both volume and reliability. Even simpler plug-and-play models with beefier diaphragms can drastically increase your sonic presence on the road. Installation varies depending on the model. Compact horns often plug directly into your existing wiring harness without the need for modifications. Larger air horns, however, may require a relay system and a direct power feed from the battery to handle the higher current draw. Either option typically fits within your bike's frame or fairing, and once installed, the result is instant. That weak stock chirp becomes a deep, commanding tone that drivers instinctively react. Most upgraded horns cost between $40 and $100 depending on size and brand. For riders who navigate congested city streets or frequently ride on multi-lane highways, this investment adds a vital layer of protection. It is not about making noise for the sake of it, it is about making sure inattentive drivers know exactly where you are when it counts most. Think of it as another layer of insurance. You might only use it once in 100 rides, but when you need it, a strong horn can make the difference between being ignored and being noticed. And speaking of safety and control, wait until you see how riders are modifying their helmets to work smarter, not harder. Enjoying these expert tips? Subscribe now to get more tricks and upgrades that only the pros know about. Trust us, you won't want to miss the next one. Number 2. Hidden helmet lock mount. Every rider has dealt with the same awkward moment. You pull up, kill the engine, take off your helmet, and then wonder where to put it. Do you carry it into the gas station like a bowling ball? Hang it from your handlebars and hope it does not fall? Or rest it precariously on the seat and hope the wind does not knock it off? None of those are great options, especially when you are trying to travel light or move quickly. That is exactly why experienced riders install a hidden helmet lock mount, a simple, durable solution that keeps your helmet secure and out of the way. Most hidden helmet locks are installed discreetly under the subframe, beside the license plate bracket, or tucked behind a saddlebag. The best ones are designed to be practically invisible unless you are looking for them. There are several styles available: traditional key lock, combination dials, or retractable steel cables that thread through the D-rings or chin bar. High-quality versions are constructed from powder-coated stainless steel, offering rust resistance and tamper-proof mounting hardware to discourage thieves and resist the elements. These locks typically cost between $25 and $35 and can be installed at home with just a few basic tools. Once installed, they become part of your everyday routine. Instead of juggling your helmet or worrying if it will still be there when you return, you just lock it up and walk away. It keeps your hands free, protects your investment, and removes one of the biggest minor annoyances from your ride. For riders wearing helmets worth hundreds of dollars, a good helmet lock is an obvious upgrade. It does not make your bike go faster. It will not improve torque, but it solves a problem you deal with every day. And once it is there, you will use it every single time you park. Whether you are riding a heavy cruiser, a cross-country touring bike, or a minimalist bobber, this upgrade fits in and works hard. And now that your gear is finally secure, let's move on to the one upgrade that every experienced rider carries, but no one can install for you. Number 1. The Rider's Mod Mindset. There is one upgrade that no catalog can sell, no mechanic can install, and no video can bolt on for you. Yet it is the most important mod any motorcyclist can make, and it is the one that separates casual riders from seasoned road veterans. It is not a product, it is not a feature, it is a mindset. The Rider's Mod Mindset is the quiet habit of staying ahead of problems, of upgrading not just for looks or trends, but for purpose, reliability, and long-term performance. It is about thinking like a mechanic, riding like a pro, and planning like a long-haul trucker. This mindset shows itself in subtle decisions. It is the reason why experienced riders install a fuse block before they wire in heated grips or extra lights. It is why they replace soft factory levers with adjustable ones long before fatigue kicks in. It is why they bleed their brakes with speed bleeders before their stopping power fades, and adjust preload before their suspension bottoms out on a loaded tour. These are not guesses. They are deliberate moves based on miles, weather, and real-world experience. Riders with this mindset do not just throw money at their bike, they invest wisely. Maybe it is $20 for a brake light modulator to be seen at red lights, or $30 for speed bleeders that make solo maintenance quick and clean. Maybe it is $200 for properly tuned suspension that keeps the tires planted and the ride smooth. Every dollar has a job. Every part has a reason. There is no random spending here, just smart upgrades that serve a clear purpose. The truth is, this final upgrade never wears out, and it works on every bike you will ever own. You cannot torque it down, you cannot polish it, but once you adopt it, it stays with you. It makes every ride safer. It makes every dollar stretch further. It makes every mod count. So if you are already thinking ahead, planning smart, and building a machine that works as hard as you do, then you are not just a rider. You are the kind of motorcyclist who knows that the most important upgrade is the one between the ears. Thanks for sticking around. If you found some new ideas for your bike, like this video, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for more pro tips on upgrading your ride.